This EC profited 1.7 mil in 7 years. If you bought this EC 7 years ago, you really would have made 1.7 mil. That's a lot of money. Imagine making 1.7 mil, you can even buy a second property, no problem. So how I managed to find out about this transaction was because I sold a few units at £100 and recently I was looking through the transactions and how much the owners actually made when they sell, and this transaction came up. Oh my god, 1.7 mil worth of profits. Before I ramble on more about this, do help me to like and share this to someone that actually lives here or lives in any of the other ECs around here as well. Back then, when the first owners actually bought in 2017, the most profitable unit here was actually a 5-bedroom. They bought a 5-bedroom at 1.321 mil only. They sold it at 3.058 mil. Their profits is here, 1.737 mil. An obscene amount, especially for an EC. So if we look at the 4 bedrooms here, the owners bought it at the original price from the developer at about 1.104 mil. They sold it at 2.45 mil. Profits 1.347 mil. High profits as well. For the 3 bedrooms, they bought it at only 940,000. They sold it at 2.05 mil. One of the transactions profited 1.11 mil. So what happened was that when I was looking through these transactions, I was super duper amazed at how much these owners actually made. Because this is just an EC. Typically, you're talking about maybe 8-10 years ago, ECs still make money. But the thing about this is that they don't make these kind of amounts in such a short period of time. Why did £100 make so much? These are the main 6 points as to why these owners profited. So first off, this was a very undervalued launch price. It launched at about 830 to 850 per square foot, while other nearby condos were already at $1,200 per square foot. Number 2, this is a rare EC in a matured estate. What you'll notice is that a lot of ECs are actually in non-matured estates. This, however, is in a matured estate. In Hougang, Yio Chu Kang area, you have your good schools, especially Rosai. You have your amenities, you have your upgraders all around you as well. So number 3, this was one of Singapore's fastest sold out ECs. All 500 plus units were sold out in about 7 hours. Super duper fast. Next is the OCR price surge and tight EC supply at that time. So what you would notice is that OCR prices from 2020 to 2025, there were very few ECs and there was a lot of delays in the BTOs. So this actually pushed up the price because there wasn't enough supply. This coupled with the fact that it's actually near expressways, it's near the future Cross Island line as well as the Hougang transformation. This all adds up to how much the price could actually go up. The next one is actually the large and efficient layouts. So essentially, they have a lot of big 4 and 5 bedrooms, big 3 bedroom premium units as well. So these are all very family friendly layouts. In the last 5 years, these are the kind of layouts that buyers and consumers are looking for. So the last point is that for ECs, there is no ABSD, as well as when they MOP, it's just a perfect timing for the market because the market has already reached this peak. So what should owners actually do with this kind of insane profits? So I had a couple of owners at £100. They sold their unit and then from there, we actually helped them upgrade to their landed property. Second option that I always share with the clients, if you are one of the owners here, you can actually decouple and maybe multiply your properties. Get a second one, get a third one, depending on how many names you have available. The last option, of course, you can actually just refinance your property, gear out some money and then go and invest without actually selling your property. So these are the main 3 options that I always share with our clients. Even if you're in other ECs or other condos, these will be applicable to you. Yes, it's easy to go and do this calculation. How much is it going to take? How much money can you extract? Now, more important, it's what are you going to buy in your next move and how will that affect your next exit strategy? So that's why I always will cover with our clients as well, because you don't want to be stuck with a property that is very difficult to exit in the future, or if you need the funds for certain things, you cannot exit the property, or worst case scenario, when you want to exit the next property, you lose money. So this is an example of one of my clients from 100 Palms, how their calculation looks like and what they actually bought. In terms of selling, this was how much they sold their unit for, 1.55 mil, less of their outstanding loan, put back their CPF with the accrued interest, less of the legal fees, $3,000, less of our agency fee at 2% with GST. The net cash proceeds was at about 988,000, CPF refunds talking about 47,900. So the total available funds after putting back the CPF from the property, they had about 100,000 each person, plus minus. And then the cash savings about 100,000. So total cash and plus the cash proceeds exceeding 1 mil. Total funds plus CPF 1.294 mil. So what actually happened was that one of them actually bought a penthouse at 1.43 mil. So at that price range, essentially they managed to get something that is within their budget as well as the size that they are looking for. After they purchased that property, they still have about 797,000 left. So this was actually used to purchase their second property, about 2 mil-ish. When they bought a second investment property at 2 mil, their balance funds, they still had about 319,000. When you're buying especially two properties, you always need to set aside a certain amount of safety net. So this will be dependent on how old you are as well. The older you are, the bigger your safety net is going to be. Because I've seen so many cases where my clients at 50, 60, they get retrenched, their income from 8,000, 9,000 drops to maybe 3,000, 4,000. So of course, when I do up the calculations and I take into account what's the lifestyle, what's the portfolio like for my clients, from there I can actually advise them a more accurate figure as to how much safety net they need in the next 5-10 years as well. So if you're looking to buy an EC or you're looking to buy another condo, I'll do up the figures for you first. We'll look through, we'll look at the safety net. Does it actually make sense? Is it safe for you? And then from there, I can advise you. So feel free to contact me. I can just do up a rough calculation for you so you can get a better idea as well. Does this mean everyone should just go and buy ECs and just hope for insane profits again? Honestly, I don't think so. For this EC, £100, why did they actually make so much was because of the main 6 reasons I covered just now. If you actually missed this boat previously, don't worry. The key now is to actually go and find out what's going to be the next £100 and are you going to be an early bird in that project as well. Hit me up to find out more about what I feel will be the next £100. That being said, of course, you also have to consider how the ECs actually make money. So previously, this EC, if you think about it, price compared to a full condo, there was a good price gap. But what you'll start to notice in today's market is that the price gap of the ECs and the new condos are actually getting a bit smaller. The pricing is very, very similar. So to me, the gains might not be so much moving forward. So the other thing you'll need to take into account for ECs is the timeline. So EC takes about 4 years to build, 5 years to MOP. So total, you're talking about 9 years. So 9 years to actually exit, to actually see the profits. For a private condo, on the other hand, it takes about 3 years for SSD to be completed. So in the same 9 years, you can complete 3 cycles. Let's assume each property averaging about 250 to 300,000. Essentially, what you're going to be talking about is up to about 900,000 worth of profits. This to me is actually a safer route, because this gives me a bit more certainty. I don't have to bet on this property or this area is going to have a lot more transformation, that kind of thing. Third, of course, you also have to take into account, in terms of EC land, these land are all allocated by the government. Typically, these will be more outskirts kind of areas. If you want a certain location or you want certain areas, you might not be able to find ECs in these areas. So the only other options would actually be to look at full condos. So at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that you have to look at ECs to make the most profit, or you have to look at only condos to make the most amount of profit. To me, it's always about what is your portfolio like now, which actually suits your needs, your family's needs the best. And then from there, I'll advise my clients what to actually look at. Every family's needs is very different. So even for some of my landed buyers, they're going to stay 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. So every single buyer and family's needs and wants are all very different. To me, the most important thing, always sit down, look at the objective, then from there we can advise you what's the best course of action for your next move. £100 was easily the most profitable EC in 2025. But will this continue for the other ECs in 2025? If you like this video, do help to like, share and subscribe to my channel as well as this video. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments below. See you soon!